What if the secret to transforming your life, overcoming self-doubt, and finally breaking free from inertia lies in just 15 minutes? A hot 15 that you fiercely protect every morning. This podcast episode with Mel Robbins, best-selling author and life coach, dives deep into the paradigm-shifting mindset and practical strategies she developed from hitting rock bottom and rebuilding an empire. From crushing debt to the pinnacle of entrepreneurial success, Mel shares raw truths and actionable insights that can rewire your brain, silence your inner critic, and dismantle the barriers that keep you stuck. Mel opens up about the critical importance of the first 15 minutes after waking, the hot 1-5. She describes how this small time block is the battlefield where your mindset either gets hijacked or fortified. Instead of immediately reaching for the phone and drowning in the noise of obligations, worries, and social media, Mel insists on carving out this time for focused intention. She explains that this is the only golden portion of your day before external stressors infiltrate your mind, allowing you to decide the one thing that, if progressed, would make the day a win. This practice, though deceptively simple, helped Mel build her business 15 minutes at a time. She acknowledges she's not a natural morning person, but reframes that story by emphasizing discipline over personality. Is it really about being a morning person, or is it about fiercely guarding those minutes to steer your mental state before the chaos begins? Mel's insistence on attacking those first minutes to win the day suggests the answer lies in consistent, intentional focus. Mel's journey didn't start with a silver spoon. Rather, it was framed by a devastating failure that almost broke her family. She reveals being $800,000 in debt, juggling multiple failed ventures, including a restaurant and a paint-your-own pottery franchise, while raising 3 young kids under the age of 8. The crushing weight of debt, maxed credit cards, and an upside-down home was compounded by the 2008 recession, an environment that magnified the setback. Yet, Mel insists that failure isn't a detour, but a prerequisite. She voices a hard truth. You will fail when you embark on building something meaningful. On the surface, failure feels like shame and pain, but as Mel learned, it uncovers crucial lessons, trims unrealistic expectations, and sharpens the entrepreneurial spirit. Do your failures define you, or do they fuel your rebirth and give you hard-earned wisdom that others lack? When Mel describes the internal war raging during those darkest days, resenting her husband, turning anger into a shield against fear, and being immobilized by self-doubt, the experience becomes painfully relatable. She admits to being frozen, knowing what needed to be done, yet unable to summon the will to act. This paralysis is often the true enemy, more than external circumstances. What follows is a powerful insight on self-accountability. Mel calls out the toxic habit of blaming others and expectations, urging instead to wake up and claim ownership over your life. It's a brutal but liberating shift, moving from victimhood to agency. Mel reflects candidly on being the world's lousiest employee, someone who resented being told what to do and sought every escape before 5 p.m. But her story underscores that not everyone is built to be a business owner. The entrepreneur journey demands a long-haul commitment and embracing discomfort for years, not just months. She offers a litmus test. If you feel dread or tension going to work, it's a signal that your true path might lie elsewhere. Yet, transitioning demands responsibility, paying bills, experimenting, taking calculated risks. Mel shares her own experimental approach, taking a Saturday shift at a bakery to quickly discover what she did not want. Isn't the willingness to experiment and learn on the job a key ingredient to finding your authentic work? Mel's coaching philosophy dives into the neuroscience of behavior change. She uses tangible methods like pairing positive affirmations with physical actions, such as high-fiving herself in the mirror each morning, to marry new thought patterns with stimuli. This helps shift long-standing negative mental loops to more empowering ones. Her routines aren't about forcing overnight miracles, but about compounding small wins. The simple question, what is one thing that if I made progress on it, would make today a good day, becomes a powerful reframe that disables the toxic perfectionism driving indecision. How often do we sabotage ourselves by waiting for the perfect circumstances instead of taking imperfect action consistently? Perhaps surprisingly, Mel reframes jealousy, not as a toxic emotion to be suppressed, but as a gift that signals what you truly want in life. She explains that jealousy surfaces only when you desire something, and the key is uncovering what lies beneath it. When envy arises over a friend's success or lifestyle, it's an invitation to identify the underlying goals or values you're longing for. Moreover, Mel shows how she moved from destructive jealousy to productive curiosity, using envy as a signal to reverse engineer success, asking questions like, what tech are they using? Or how do they manage that? The redefinition transforms jealousy from a paralyzing to a motivating force. After becoming an established author and entrepreneur, Mel stresses the significance of owning your content and intellectual property. She shares a counterintuitive insight about book publishing, eschewing advances that feel like ego loans, and instead focusing on retaining audio rights, which provide a long-term revenue stream akin to a perpetual rental property. This fierce ownership mentality extends beyond money. Mel insists that to truly succeed, you must bet on yourself, even if it means taking seemingly risky choices in deals, content ownership, and business partnerships. Are you making decisions that boost your long-term independence or trading immediate validation for limited freedom? Mel cites research and experts like Dr. Judith Joseph to emphasize the transformative power of injecting small moments of joy daily, especially when burdened by the weight of business, family, and life pressures. Whether it's a short walk, revisiting a hobby, or simply savoring a lunch break outside, these micro-joys function as necessary resets for mental health and sustainable energy. She counsels reclaiming time in tiny, deliberate doses rather than seeking grand escapes. This defiant stance protects mental space against overwhelming stress. Mel shares a research-backed hack that transformed her evenings, keeping a to-do not done list next to her bed. Writing down incomplete tasks closes mental loops, signaling your brain it no longer needs to ruminate to remember unfinished work. This simple practice can reduce sleep latency by up to 10 minutes as the distracted mind finally settles. This closing tabs approach is especially crucial for entrepreneurs and busy people juggling endless demands. Could you gain better rest and productivity by giving your mind permission to let go at day's end? An important theme in Mel's narrative is the virtue of economic and psychological safety nets while attempting new careers or ventures. She counsels against quitting prematurely or jumping fully in without testing the waters. Her own path included moonlighting as a coach while still employed, coaching clients in secret, and only quitting after consistent income was proven. This gradual approach allows you to build confidence, validate your skills, and minimize catastrophic risk. Mel is unapologetic about openly voicing her doubts even at the height of crisis, including admitting to her husband she did not believe in his ability to pull them out of financial ruin. This brutal honesty was painful but necessary. It cracked the facade of denial, creating space for real action. She also reflects on evolving beyond traditional roles and expectations, particularly around gender and financial dynamics, learning to claim responsibility and stop expecting a partner to fix things. Could radical honesty, though uncomfortable, deepen trust and catalyze change in your closest relationships? Finally, Mel highlights one of the most fulfilling aspects of her work: real human connection. She notes how entrepreneurship and content creation can feel isolating in the moment, but seeing listeners and clients transform is a powerful antidote. Her podcast tour, despite its challenges, created communal spaces for celebration, learning, and joy, elements often missing in modern lives. She encourages building a work ethos laser-focused on serving and obsessing over audience value, reminding us that real impact, not fame or ego, is the ultimate motivator.